I worked on a documentary called Auschwitz, the Yugoslav Remembrance. It was for me very, how to say, very important subject to make a documentary about Yugoslavian remembrance and about Auschwitz, because Yugoslavia actually was one of the first countries who opened the memorial room in Auschwitz Museum. It was in 1963 when Tito came and opened it, our former Yugoslavian president. And in 1991, when the wars started in Yugoslavia and the dissolution of Yugoslavia, this actually memorial room was closed because there was no country anymore to take care of that place. So in Auschwitz today, the victims from Yugoslavia are actually invisible. So I was working on this documentary especially for the screening on the 27th January 2015 for the 70 years of Auschwitz liberation. And of course at the time I was reading newspapers, media, watching TV all around about this subject of Auschwitz. And I found on CNN Christian Amanpour's show that she did a live interview with Rainer Höss, the grandson of the Auschwitz commander, who came in Krakow, who came for the 70th anniversary of the Auschwitz liberation. That fact was very interesting for me to see like Auschwitz commander's grandson coming to this event, big. And I researched a little bit about him, and then I found in Daily Telegraph from the 15th January the same year, 2015, that the Holocaust survivor symbolically adopted him as her own grandson. And I thought that is really a good film. So I found the guy on Facebook and just sent a message, and I said, I'm Jonas from Serbia, can you send me your email? And that's how the whole thing started.
And it took quite a short time,
It was like end of January, and we start filming in 14th of April in Auschwitz, because actually Eva Kor, who lives in America, she was coming for the Oscar Brennan's trial in Lindbergh on 20th April the same year. So they had they wanted to go together, Rainer and Eva, this trial, as you saw in the film, and that was for us the most important thing, to have them together and to film it.
Since we have these young people here, and you're working with the movies, as I understand. You're working with the film, and you know that it is not easy to find some history to make a movie about, isn't it? Is it easy, or it is not so easy?
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not.
And when is easy and when is not easy?
Then you have information. So when you don't have, so you should take time and search for it, so it's maybe take 1 month.
Yeah, when you get some, is it information or just inspiration, or it could be both?
You need a lot of information.
You need to start. Okay. But how could you explain how he started?
But he said that he talked to.
Take this on. Everybody hear you. You can come
He
up.
said that you find a guy who was on Facebook, so that's he took information. So that is, I think it's smart. He's smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Using the new media.
Yeah, using your Facebook.
And the thing is that you cannot find him anymore.
Uh-huh.
That's also interesting.
That you are searching for the history. When you are not searching, happens thousands of things, and you cannot just sketch it because you are not prepared to have it. But when you are on a way to have it, then it's just to some kind of inventa, find the right time and you get it. That's why it's some kind of art, I can say, just to have it. Yes?
Well, I'm Dragan. I'm living temporarily in Sweden, and I would like to congratulate the director, for the marvelous film and very emotional film, I am from Serbia, and I'm very proud to have it here. But my question will be very simple. Are you going to continue in this direction, or you are going to find another subject to make direction of?
This kind of difficult issues are where my actually focus all, like, I'm now 20 years of career, but first of all, I'm a journalist. I'm not a director. I didn't go to any film school or something. I was like a journalist on the field all the time. So but from the beginning, I was very attached with this multimedia and video and everything. So I made some movies 20 years ago, but it was probably not like this level. But yeah, this is kind of issues that I'm dealing with. It's human rights, it's wars, it's I don't know, xenophobia, I would say the most. And I don't know, we have this problem of revision of the history. We have this problem of erasing probably some of the history. So these are kind of subjects that I'm involved in. Yeah.
Okay. Some more questions? Good. We have some.
We have one.
What is the most important thing that, as a director for you in a film?
I'm sorry.
What is the most important thing in a film for you as a director? So, what is
Good
the
story.
most important thing? Story.
The most important thing
The
for
film.
me is a good story. And I will always make, I think, if you have a good story, you have a good film.
You have it, yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm first searching for a story.
Good. Some more questions?
I'm more like a storyteller, not a filmmaker.
Yeah. Okay, Asta, shall we say something?
I think it was a great movie.
Thank you very much.
I also many times wonder how much people do really know about this, because we don't have so many people surviving. We have, as Håkan said, we have Heidi Fried and your film, so I think it's good that these kind of movies come out. So we actually have the portrait of the people who have been there, because many times, I don't know who was saying it, but some mothers, small child say like this, but mama, that's just only a story. It's not true, because it's so awful that you can't think that it's true. But it's true. And you have to be remembered about that. Awful things happen, many times more awful than you see in films. Sorry to say.
Reality, yeah.
It's a reality. Yes.
We have something.
Yes, we have something to serve, and we have something that we in Sweden many times eat this time of year. We have kind of bun that we have saffron. I don't know if you use saffron in your country
Not
too.
so much, but we have
Saffron, yes, and we do buns in it. So I have some buns and some lemonade, and I think you should have some
Rest.
Yes.
Just come out. Then
Come
we
out,
start with
take a
next.
coffee.
Because we are in a hurry a little bit.
yes, little bit hurry.
My
because you-
suggestion, use toilets, just walk around for a little, and we can say about 5-8 minutes we are back. Take some good stuff there, and we are back to the next one.
Yes. Thank you.
Bra. Now we saw one short movie. Alexander, how do you feel about to see it in Sweden?
First, I would like to thank you, New Balkan Film Festival, and the director of Balkan Film Festival, Jan and Mila, who invite me and it's a great pleasure and great honor to be here. Also, I would like to thank you, Swedish Institute, who support the festival. About the film, what I can say, this is the film I made in 2010, and the film was finished in 2011 when I was in New York in some workshop filmmaking program at the New York Film Academy, and it's a very modest film. When I say modest film, I really mean modest film, because this film was made without budget, without any kind of the budget. There was like 4 of us on the set. Me, director of the photography, the actor, and assistant of the director. That's all. I was be a camera operator, I was be a writer, I was be a director, and I was be also a producer. So it's a completely individual production. And so in all of that circumstances, we try to tell some story, a little story, and to transmit the emotion about things which happened in the city like New York.
For some kind of school, as I understand, and this is some kind of work which come out from this course. Okay, good. And how is it in New York to shoot the movie?
It's okay, but also it's very difficult, because if you need to shoot outside, it's very difficult for permission, because it's not very difficult for permission, but actually it's very expensive. This is the the films. It's not modest. The film industry, it's not modest. We all know that the film costs too much. That involve a lot of people, a lot of the professional people, resources, and so it's not easy in this way.
Okay. Did you pay the fee to shoot that?
No.
Good.
That was being illegal, completely illegal. Because I said we should because we shot this film in 1 or 2 days. I can't remember, which is a very short time. And when we shoot outside, we shoot like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, like 2 or 3 a.m. in the local time. So so that's why we shoot outside. Yeah.
Some questions? Yes?
What was the inspiration for this movie?
Well, the inspiration, it's a drama in himself. So I'm in love with fiction, and I'm in love with that kind of genre. So when I was there, when I was looking around, I tried to imagine some stories like this. That's all.
And I can say that just this story was something which we choose for this festival, because Alexander came with one newer movie, which is like more love story, some kind of, but then he sent me this, and I think it catch me, also it got me more in this idea what the movie is about, and actually that what was interesting for me, that he is as a guy take the motherhood as a subject for his short film. With all drama which can take with itself, and that's the reason why this movie, even if it's older than the second one, he sent actually as a submission for the festival. Some more questions? I like the light. I like this darkness because we are coming deep in something which nobody knows what's going on there. Okay. More questions? No. We are continuing now with the next, thank you Alexander, and see you in Zita actually. This movie will be screened again during the short film day. One of the representatives from around the world. Thank you. Next movie is a little bit special. We try to contact the director for this movie. Her name is Senka. And idea is to get her on Viber, on some special kind of, we shall see if we manage to do that function. Do you hear?
Hello, hello.
Good, wow. It is really,
Yes.
it's miracle. Here is Senka, the woman director for the movie that we shall see now. It is a history about one cinema actually, which was during, for how many years this phase there was?
Well, yes. First of all, hello to everybody, and I'm very proud that people came to see the movie. I would like to thank you all. It's a history actually about the Belgrade film, which was owner of 14 cinemas. There were Yugoslav cinemas, which were functioned for 50 years or maybe more, and then in 2007, the whole 14 cinemas were closed. You will see the story about how one of them was liberated actually during that, let's say, guerrilla action when activists took the place.
Okay, and have you been a part of this guerrilla action?
Well, I haven't been in that group who originally occupied the cinema. I heard for the occupation that night over the Facebook network. I saw that people have started to check into the cinema. So I heard something about that conspiracy that maybe some people will come into the cinema, but I haven't been the part of that initial two groups, let's say, which entered the cinema that night.
Okay, you came there just as artist, as ones who will.
I was very, because how to say, we live in a very specific context here, where we had a lot of bad privatization in culture. This was the most fishy privatization in Belgrade, but in Serbia as well. So I see the opportunity where politics meet the film, because film industry has so much to do with politics, let's say. And then in one place that night they meet together in very, how to say, energetic way, let's say.
Okay. We choose this movie just because of this revolutionary idea, and since we have a lot of people from gymnasium here, high school, I think that could be some subject that probably inspire them to not do the same thing, but at least think twice and rethink the reality on their own way. We will screen the movie now, and afterward we will have a conversation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the screening. Bye.
Bye-bye. We are happy actually to have this year production 2018, which is very special. Wait a second, I need to put the camera and then the mic. You will not believe how we made this conversation, but everything is possible.
Well, yes.
Okay, good. Here we are, still here.
Hi.
Yes. Do we have some question directly?
Kan vi inte applådera?
Ja, vi kan make... to see if you just this
I think so.
light. Okay, good. Do we have some question directly?
How many cameramen were involved?
How many cameramen?
Well, we have a really small crew, just the DOP and me. But eventually we got some materials from other persons who were shooting also, but not in such a long run like me, actually, like we. So there were one main camera, which is like 80%, 90% of the film, and let's say 10% of some others.
It was very important with the sound, I think, because it's not much talking. How did you do it technically?
Yes, so we have really modest equipment. Most people will say that today, would say that it's today history. We shoot the whole film with Mark II, Canon Mark II, 5D. And we have one Rode mic, one Zoom recorder, and one little microphone for the interviews.
Okay, is it some unusual history, I think, for these young people here, just to take over one cinema?
Is it? I haven't heard the.
I asked them, this young audition, is it something strange or special with this feeling of just take over cinema? Do you have some idea?
Well, film is, I think, really important for the young audiences, because these people mostly were like in their 20s, from 20 to 25. Most of them, excepting some people who were older, but yes, people who stay in the cinema and who, let's say, occupy the cinema, they're mostly youngsters. So I think it's interesting to see people your age, how they behave and how they fight for some things.
Okay. I will ask the audience again. Do you have some solution for this situation? How would you do that? Would you do better? It is not easy just to come in just imagine come in some building in Stockholm and say, okay, we are here now. How it should feel.
As in Målbaden, for example.
Which one?
Målbaden which period was that?
1979 or something.
Okay, it's the history which I was not here. What happened there?
Almost the same, but it was not cinema. It was just the house.
Okay.
It was several houses.
Yeah, several houses
In 1970, they have several houses in Målbaden. Is it
Yes.
some city or park?
It's a south.
Aha, okay, sorry. I'm not from here, I'm kidding. And did they come like here, just come in? Artists or
There is some
similarities?
similarities, but I don't have information about the discussions going on.
Yeah.
The police threw them out at last.
They finished that police just threw out the people in Stockholm, which was a little bit outside of Stockholm.
Yeah, that's one of the, I would say, the biggest problem with the occupation of the cinema Zvezda in Belgrade is that actually authorities said that they didn't want to interfere and to how to say, to do something which could be like throwing people from the cinema because of their political points. They realized that medias were really affirmative, and mostly the whole public was really. It said in the movie that really. Huge amount of people was very well they were interested in that and they see it as a positive thing. So police didn't react in this case, which was like I think the biggest problem with the collectives, because when you have an enemy, that's
Easier to
that's
fight.
it's something that, yeah, it's easy to fight, of course.
Yeah.
So we were when we were in the cinema, we expected something to happen, to see some kind of repressive behavior from the authorities, but they didn't react actually. So
yeah. What is, for me it's interesting, what is today, what's going on with the cinema? Is it just closed and nothing?
well, they organized projections, film projections, mostly during the summer because there is a huge open air, as you have opportunity to see. Yes, but there is no more people who are talking or arguing or thinking critically about the reality we live.
Okay. But the house is, I mean, room is still a cinema. I mean, it is not taken from...
Still cinema, yes, it's still cinema, but yeah.
Good. Some more questions? I must say that we have a wonderful audience, just to let you know, because they are sitting here from 1 o'clock and don't moving just for a little, because we were thinking, okay, probably it will be too much time sitting and watching. But I just asked, great. I mean, I must give you some kind of honor that you actually stayed so long with us. And my question is, did you like the movies? I mean, both this and the other ones? Higher.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for this special conversation, which we did with the microphone, mobile, but it functioned somehow. I'm sorry that you are not here. Senka is now doing something else. Can you tell us a little bit more? What are you doing?
Now I edit my short fiction film. Yeah, I'm in the editing process right now. So in another room, there is an editing room.
Okay, and it means that probably we shall see your next movie here in Balkan Film Festival.
Yeah, why not? Of course.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.